The battle continues at the Texas state capitol. Lawmakers will continue to debate on the proposed redistricting bill, but will a vote come today? We have that answer next. And the Ten Commandments will not just be listed in your Bible, but could also be in your child's classroom as well. Why state leaders are praising this next move. Plus,
a major setback makes a West Side favorite go viral. I'm your West Side Neighborhood News reporter Jada Jenkins talking with the owner of Candy Andy after his food truck caught on fire.
Well, good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Clara Benitez Cortez. We begin with the redistricting saga at the state capitol. House Democrats have returned but have not been allowed to leave without an escort, some even spending the night there in protest of this new rule. The redistricting bill is currently being debated in Austin right now, and it is unknown if or when the bill will be voted on. Representative Todd Hunter, who represents Corpus Christi, introduced the bill. And he had a lot to say on the chamber floor about what has happened over the last several weeks.
But for 18 days, things could have happened. You all chose to walk out. To me, you damaged the process. You kept people away. You kept work from being done. Don't use that as an excuse.
We will be sure to keep you updated on air and online with the latest details on everything happening in the second special legislative session. And now we've talked a lot about these new maps over the past few weeks, but how exactly could it affect us here in the Coastal Bend? Well, we've got that answer for you. District 27 would include the northeastern part of Nueces County and most of Aransas County. And District 15 would include Brooks, Jim Wells, San Patricio, B. Refugio County, and or the far western portion of Aransas. And if you're in District 34, it would include Kennedy, Clayburgh, and the western half of Nueces County. Lastly, but certainly not least, the Jim Hogg, Duval, and Live Oak would also be in part of District 28. And sticking with some statewide news, a federal judge ruled today that several Texas schools do not need to comply with the new state law requiring the Ten Commandments be displayed in those classrooms. The 55-page opinion ruled that the new law cannot be enforced in several districts across the state. Similar laws we recently enacted in Arkansas and Louisiana. Both of those laws have also been met with a flurry of court cases in their constitutionality. Texas Attorney General made a statement following the ruling stating that he will be appealing this flawed decision. And several parents of children who died at Camp Mystic were in Austin today, arguing that common sense safety measures were missing at the camp. At least 27 campers and counselors died at Camp Mystic on July 4th earlier this year. The new bill includes provisions requiring camps to have emergency rooftop ladders in every cabin and a flood plan in case of flash flooding. And tempers reached the boiling point last night during a meeting of the South Water Authority.
If that has been that long ago, why hasn't there been a follow-up to that?
If you're using my name out there,
no.
There's been follow-up. Don't put your hand on me.
Okay,
there's been follow-up. There's been follow-up. Okay, just watch the news, watch social media.
Well, the man arguing with the speaker is Clayburgh County Judge Rudy Madrid. The confrontation happened after a motion was made to prohibit brine discharge into Baffin Bay.
Motion passes. No discharge into Baffin Bay. Period.
Now, Chris 6 News has been digging deep into this proposed groundwater desalination facility. We'll keep you posted on our special coverage coming up next week. Now, I think it's time for us to turn things over to meteorologist Stephanie Laubert for the first time this evening. And Steph, it was really nice on the south side yesterday evening. Are we going to be getting some of that relief tonight?
You know, that's the beauty. When we have showers, it does tame the heat a little bit, makes it more comfortable outside. A couple of our neighbors will experience that tonight because the sea breeze did bring some showers here in the late afternoon, early evening time frame. So let's take a look at the radar. Over the past 3 hours, Kingsville saw a pretty hefty thunderstorm move through the area. Now we're seeing some of that activity still bubbling up in western portions of San Patricio County. And wouldn't you know it, very close to a place where we would love to have some rainfall. Lake Corpus Christi. So one good downpour heading into Mathis right now. This will hopefully give a good but brief drink to Lake Corpus Christi and kind of down this 359 corridor. It's probably going to pass just to the north of Orange Grove. Sorry, our neighbors there, kind of in a bubble this afternoon, but some of these showers also reaching the 281 corridor, so Owl Ranch may benefit from that too. Heading closer to Alice, same deal. Y'all are kind of in a bubble this afternoon too, but there's some showers that have been moving into Duval County, moving in on Benavides right now. And I think our neighbors in Hebbronville finally going to feel vindicated because they missed out on the action over the past couple of days. They really haven't seen much rainfall, and there are a few showers that are moving into town right now. There were better downpours that are now falling apart as they approach Hebbronville, but still a good drink of water. I'll tell you what else we can expect in the forecast. Maybe the words cold front. I'll explain coming up.
I'm your Westside Neighborhood News reporter, Jada Jenkins, and I spent the day talking with the owner of Candy Andy. The shop, known for its ice cream and its snacks, has a huge following on social media. But just weeks after opening a new food truck, a fire has temporarily caused the food truck to shut down. What started out as a big step forward,
it really hurt us for a little bit to have this happen to us.
Quickly turned into a setback for Drew Munoz. He's the owner of Candy Andy, a popular snack shop on the west side. It led to him opening up this food truck. But not even 2 weeks later, a small fire forced them to shut it down.
Changed it all out. We're still working right here to change this out.
I had him walk me through the damage. He tells me it's tough starting a business from scratch, and all he can think of is when he can reopen the food truck again.
We were up the last couple days, 7 a.m., stayed up late.
But despite these challenges, he says all of the community support is what keeps him going.
Commenting, letting us know, keep going, Drew, don't give up.
I called Assistant Fire Chief Tony Perez, who tells me the business had their permits and inspections up to date when the fire happened.
All of those were within the standard. There was nothing that was lacking there.
He walked me through the investigation and says it was ruled unintentional.
If there's a pot on the cooktop and it's actually touching the wall at the same time, a lot of the trailers they're enclosed. It's a tight space.
He asked food truck owners to be mindful of what little room they have. And as for Drew, he tells me this is just a minor setback for a major comeback.
I leave it in God's hands, and we're going to get it taken care of.
Drew Munoz tells me the storefront remains open, and he hopes his truck is up and running by the end of this week. On the west side, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Jada Jenkins, Chris 6 News.
All right, Jada, thank you so much. And we have some news out of Beeville today. The historic Hall Real Alto Theater in Beeville is looking for some help from its neighbors. Originally opened in 1922, the downtown theater has been empty since 1985. But this Saturday, the Hall Real Alto Preservation Association is asking volunteers to help in cleaning up the theater. Neighborhood News reporter Adam Beam got a look at the renovation so far and sat down with the association's president, Mark Parsons.
I think once we get up and running, both for performing arts as well as private groups or whatever, I think that will actually help heads and beds. People coming to Beeville. I think it'd be a big attraction.
Well, Parson tells Chris 6 that he hopes the doors will open at the start of next year. And happening today in Refugio, TxDOT is hosting a public hearing on the proposed upgrades to US 77. They're proposing improvements to US 77 in Woodsboro and building a new highway to the east of Refugio. As of now, 77 runs through Refugio, and this proposed change has some neighbors worried. They feel moving 77 outside of the city will cause them to lose business. Tonight's hearing lasts until 6:30, and a second public hearing will be held tomorrow in Woodsboro at the Woodsboro School cafeteria. Headache for some Southside neighbors. Coming up next, we'll hear from a city councilman on why this construction project is causing so many problems.
You're watching Chris 6, part of the Scripps News Group.
Welcome back. All throughout this month, the city of Corpus Christi has been hosting community input sessions to hear what you think about the city's proposed budget for next year. Tonight, those sessions will be in District 1, which represents the Annabelle and Calallen area, and residents will have the opportunity to ask questions to their district council member, city manager Peter Zanoni, and other city staff. Tonight's meeting will be from 6 to 7 p.m. at the Northwest Senior Center at 9725 Upriver Road. And the Flower Bluff High School NJROTC team was holding court at Commissioner's Court this morning. They were the guest of honor as the Nueces County Commissioners honored the team for a successful season and a trip to the national championship. Earlier this year, the team was also at state championships where the drill team took first place. They also placed first in academics and second in physical fitness. What's their secret to success?
To win anything, we practice constantly. There's every time we leave school, we're there till 6:15 practicing for any competition, from just local drill meets to national drill meets.
Now, members of the Flower Bluff NJROTC are also champs of the field. This past weekend, 50 of the cadets spent 4 hours cleaning a stretch of SPID from Oso Bay to the JFK Causeway. And parents on the south side say a new traffic pattern near 2 schools is making dropping off their kids a major headache. Cars are backing up along Yorktown near Creekside and Lexington Elementary. Parents say that traffic used to flow smoothly. That was until a new one-way sign was posted on Oso Parkway reading no right turns onto Oso Parkway on school days from 7:15 a.m. to 9:15 a.m. and 2:45 p.m. to 4:45 p.m.
I think there's some issues because it wasn't communicated very well from the schools to the parents. Now, we don't have that ability to communicate to them that way.
City officials say the change was made to improve safety and reduce congestion in the area. And neighborhood news reporter Tony Jaramillo reached out to CCISS, who referred him to the city for any questions related to traffic in the area. Now, with all this talk about roads, I think it's just about time we check in with Stephanie Laubert with a look at traffic. Hi, Steph.
Hey, Clara, we are going to be looking at this view of SPID. Not a whole lot going on here, so overall not too bad. A couple of busy bees up in Adam, and it's dry out that way. That makes it a little easier, right? But we're still seeing the usual stop and go areas along 37, approaching that change onto the crosstown. Little commotion downtown as folks try to figure out what they're going to be doing for the evening time frame. On the crosstown, once you approach the SPID interchange there, we're a little slow. Nothing out of the ordinary. And zeroing in on the typical trouble spot, Staples from about Everhart and down through Saratoga. Once again, pretty sluggish this afternoon, but other thoroughfares are moving smoothly. Could be an alternate route. And along Yorktown, we have those slowdowns to be expected. So as you head out, make sure you stay safe and you drive safe. I'll give you your forecast when we come back from this quick break. Hey there, happy Wednesday to you. My favorite day of the week, because if you're having a bad week, it's almost over. If you're having a good week, it's not over yet. And something that's been a real plus this week has been the opportunity for rain chances. If you're somebody who hasn't seen much rain yet, hold out hope. We're not done yet. And we may even be using the words cold front. Yeah, that's a little more than what it really is, but a sign that fall isn't too far away. So if you're done with the summer heat, there is some hope in regard to that in the forecast as well. I'm showing you the bird's eye view of clouds over South Texas this afternoon. You can very clearly see the sea breeze. It's that line of clouds, or I should say the clearing right along the coast that pushes in. It helped to trigger a few thunderstorms across the area. Some of that rain is still ongoing across a few neighborhoods. So we're very thankful for that little spark that helps to make use of the moisture that we have in the atmosphere, because sometimes that's the ingredient that we're missing. Not today. Sea breeze going to work. And right now we're still tracking one good downpour in western San Patricio County. This is one that is near Lake Corpus Christi and Mathis, moving on into the vicinity of the lake right now. A lot of our neighbors around the lakes pretty much missed out on any kind of rainfall this week. So I think folks there will be happy. It'll be brief. It's, again, the best we can do in terms of weather right now, but we've got some rain in the area. As we make our way further south, starting to see some showers actually moving into Alice. I must have just given us a reverse jinx or something, because I thought y'all were going to be in that metaphorical bubble and miss out on some of the showers that are along 281. But yep, that's the beauty of the sea breeze. One good downpour has just popped up to the east of town and should be moving on through. Our friends further south, though, Hebronville, yes, we've seen some of these cells popping back up again, but a lot of the showers kind of fizzling out at this point. Far and few between for that very isolated rainfall in general. So here's a look at how our peak wind gusts have done today. Not as exciting as the action we had just a short time ago. Winds have been around 15 to 20 miles per hour, at times a little breezy, trying to get to that 25 mile per hour mark. It hasn't been enough to really tame the heat this afternoon, though. A lot of us still sitting near the triple digits. 100 the reading in Beeville right now, 98 in Mathis, 98 in Robstown, feeling like 106, 94 in Kingsville. Y'all just had a thunderstorm to help cool things down, so that is an improvement, believe it or not. We'll continue to feel the heat through the rest of the week and hope for more rain in the forecast as well. But I said the word cold fronts. I don't want to clickbait you. Let's talk about what's happening. Do you see this black dashed line here going across parts of East Texas? That is a wrinkle of low pressure. If I give you a wider view of the lower 48, here's a sign of a cold front making its way across the Tennessee River Valley. There are pockets of cooler air, I won't necessarily say cold air, but cooler air, trying to make their way down the southern plains. I think a boundary is going to have a better chance of forming right around this area as a cold front and make its way closer to Texas. Does it give us a cool down? No. What it does is help provide that spark to increase rain chances. So we can see this on Moisture Tracker. Look as the deeper shades of green start to get closer to the coastal bend on Thursday afternoon, again on Friday afternoon, and this even lingers into Saturday. So it looks like we should have enough moisture in place, hopefully enough instability to wring out a few showers in the forecast. All this to say, if you haven't seen much rain yet, we're not done with that in the forecast yet. And look at this, next week, slightly cooler temperatures.
You're watching Chris 6, part of the Scripps News Group.
If you have a medical procedure planned in the future, a new report may affect you. It shows just how much the prices of health care can vary based on your insurance. Scripps News Group's Alex Miller reports.
Going in for a healthcare procedure can be costly, even if you have health insurance. But those costs are often not consistent. A new report from Trilliant Health looked at employer-sponsored healthcare plans and found insured patients across the country paid widely varying amounts for the same procedure.
People should be upset about this. And what we hope is that with this price transparency data, the healthcare system and market will actually be forced to compete on price.
In one example, the report found the median negotiated rate for a hip replacement was just under $22,000. But that ranges from about $13,000 at multiple medical centers in New Jersey to over $100,000 at a facility in Washington state.
There's a lack of competition, and those healthcare systems that have the most pricing power have gone and charged the highest prices that they can get away with.
Vivian Ho is an economist at Rice University and says transparent pricing information on healthcare could help drive prices down.
Having these prices available is only the start. What we need is for large employers to react to these prices and start looking for providers for their workers that have lower prices, but also high quality.
Another analysis found the U.S. paid more than $13,000 per person on healthcare in 2023, far more than other high-income countries. Alex Miller, Scripps News Group, New York.
Coming up next on Chris 6 News, today is National, look at that on your screen, you guessed it, Bacon Day. We'll tell you why we are celebrating this breakfast staple, plus one last look at your 7-day forecast.
You're watching Chris 6, part of the Scripps News Group.
Welcome back. Chris 6 News has teamed up with the Gulf Coast Humane Society for our Clear the Shelters initiative. And all this week, we're highlighting pets that you can bring home. And today's furry friend is Tagger. Tagger is a 3-year-old male shepherd mix. He is a one-party kind of guy. He prefers to keep all the treats, toys, and belly rubs to himself. And if you're looking for a sidekick, Tagger is your guy. If you want to meet Tagger, head on over to the Gulf Coast Humane Society at 3118 Cabanis Parkway. Oh, Tagger, you're going to love this story. If you love bacon, today was made just for you. That's because it's National Bacon Lovers Day.
That's us.
And did you know that hundreds of years ago, the word bacon referred to any cut of pork? It would eventually come to mean cured pork belly. Now, nowadays, there's also turkey and plant-based bacon. While it's best known for a side dish for breakfast, bacon has also become a popular topping for burgers. So if you feel like celebrating this delicious day, maybe have some breakfast for dinner or get a bacon burger tonight. And we were talking about this, but the perfect bacon for you, what would you say?
It's got to be both. We need a crunch, but we need that richness, little chew to it as well.
Yes, and when you initially asked me, I said, hey, I don't mind as long as it's bacon, you know?
Yeah, bacon's
just
bacon.
Good. So
it's a good day to celebrate bacon because it's hot, but we're cooling down as we head on into the evening. Taking your pup for a walk, maybe they deserve a little bite. We're gonna be cooling down to those lower 80s.
All right, everybody, we'll see you here at 6 o'clock. Good night.
Bye.